First, the top news headlines. Government of Andaman and Nicobar Islands allots 2,000 square meter plot of land to Manipur to develop memorial site for deported forefathers, announces Preservation Committee of Deported Manipuri War Heroes. Lausa demands clarification from government on why more urea needed now than 10 years back as area of paddy fields has shrunk. Large number of parents and guardians thronged TG Higher Secondary School for getting admission forms for class 11.
Ichabu mahitam hanba haibasi mama mapa singna machada piba ngamba khwaidigi chabu khudoni. Slopland Public School, biggest and the finest residential school, Manipurgi oina lemjuningai oiraba, mahei tampam ama oiriba, khwaidigi chunaraba mafamda semgatlaba, CBSE the affiliate toba higher secondary school oiri. Ichasingbu admission tawidana mama mapa singna machada piba ngamba, khwaidigi chabu khudol oibiu, ichagi phazabalam chat sajat ki ahombadu ubiu, Slopland Public School Khongjom.
Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the MAMI TV English News Bulletin. I'm ALBINA RIAMEI. Founder General Secretary of Preservation Committee of Deported Manipuri War Heroes in Andaman and Nicobar Island, Nabakanta, has informed that the Andaman and Nicobar Island government had allotted a land of 2,000 square meter area on June 27, 2019 to construct a memorial site for Manipuri forefathers who were in exile in the island. A public meeting was held at Manipur Press Club today ahead of the committee's visit to Andaman to collect the land document. Addressing the gathering, Nabakanta said the committee had been urging the Andaman and Nicobar Island government to provide land to construct the memorial site since 2005. Fortunately, the government recommended 2,000 square meter land area at Goodwill Estate in Port Blair in the committee's name and provided the land on June 27, 2019, he informed. Nabakanta said the committee convened today's meeting after a gap of 16 years as the land has been granted to the people of Manipur. Referring to why the committee disclosed the information only today, he said the committee took help from the people of the state through charity drive for travel expenses to the island in order to secure the land for the past 1 decade. As the land had been granted to people of Manipur, the meeting was held to give the good news to the people and to get their opinion about the visit to collect the land deed, Nabakanta said. Memorial stones of 23 brave forefathers, including Kula Chandra Maharaj, and grave with their names will be installed at the memorial site. He said and added that the committee took up the initiative because of the love for the forefathers and the motherland.
Noina pibirak po mateng, noina pibirak pa domba, ako'y thawjan gi wahising aduna, ako'y nga sisiwaw di leire, aduna ako'y mo recommend to bire, anaman sarkana, aduga lemaw riba, ako'y patagi matang se, CD, mayam tuno hona minaga yaksan biro tuksono patasi ako'y tanaba, sat keduribni. Ako'y patapang ta di just right ako'y honor ore matamna ako'y na tawning mawang tawayani saning mawang na sabayani ako'y na mafam na talaga hotel gi leibam chawi tapui leibam yam lei ado mafam da million bunga masagani sidai chaliba ipa ipu mayam lei gita mayam sigi nung da maming noi hakta na thangwani samna ida binaw na mayam chanai dana sumai duduna ipa ipu mayam million mayam chai thoki bido khomjalaga adugumba ako'y gi Yamna mapa pu nungsiba, mapa pu ningba, mapa mo ikundo. Ako'y tanari kanan tanin.
President of Laumi Sinmia Punbalup, Lausal Mutum Churamani, has demanded clarification from the government as to why the state needs 22 metric ton of urea now as against the 15 metric ton of urea required in 2012 when the agricultural land area in the state has been reduced. Addressing media persons at a press meet held in connection with current fertilizer issue in the state at Manipur Press Club today, Churamani said Lausal had conducted a campaign urging the government to hand over charge of urea distribution to Agriculture Department instead of distributing urea through MLAs and ministers, and to stop involving politics while distributing urea to the farmers from July 5 to 7. He further said that poppy plantation in the hills can be curbed to a great extent if the accurate amount of urea required in the state is procured under the control of the government. Chandramani also demanded the government to appoint a qualified director of Agriculture Department who can give technical advices and who will not work under the command of MLAs and ministers. He then urged the government to issue soil health card to farmers in order to avoid the fertilizer issue every year. Stating that it has been learned that the Agriculture Department has only 400 employees when it should have around 1,200 employees, he said the lack of manpower in the department has created a huge gap between the farmers and the department. Hence, he drew the attention of the government to look into the matter at the earliest. On the other hand, Churamani informed that a team of Lausa led by its vice president seized 400 bags of urea from a shop of 1 Nauram Shanti at Wabagai Market. They have been told that the urea bags belong to MLA of Wabagai Assembly constituency. However, it was also reported that the seized urea bags are quota of an MLA of a hill constituency. He demanded clarification from Wabagai MLA on the matter and also urged the government to arrest Shanti and take up necessary action.
Agriculture Department ki aina wafam kharasi thamjani mana akoi 2017 dagi BJP ki government sila padagi law and order ki phibam yam thare na hai yes ekoi su mai miyam su paumi siminau su loina baksu lambi chatpada security ki problem leitaba disturbance leitaba masim bisidi yamna thaga ningai gi adubu ngasi phawba IRB lobagi natraga police lobagi home department gi mission ki kadhan na bagi wafam da natna atopa agriculture department ki employee machine kayam lai employee si aina source tagi phangjabada 1200 ki strength leigidabase hojik 400 ho phadi machine district mayam si deida chatlaga sigumba yamna burning oiba yamna sentiment somna miyam sina singba matam si deida miyam gi sentiment yadba miyam si kamaina control tawbadagi habse machine hoi agriculture department su awa mamurumare na khalli.
Hundreds of parents and guardians stood in long queue in front of Tampasana Girls Higher Secondary School to get admission forms for Class 11 for their words since last night. Huge crowd of parents and guardians spent the night in front of TG Higher Secondary School just to get admission forms for their words. Later, police had to disperse the crowd. However, many still spent the night at the location despite warning by the police. Parents were seen standing in long queues on the footpath of the school since dawn to get the admission forms. People continue to throng the school today for admission. Meanwhile, a large crowd also gathered in front of Churachan CC Higher Secondary School for admission to Class 11. Speaking to MAMI TV, the applicants expressed the need to lessen the admission process in government schools. Online registration process will be easier to the people. They further opined for better government schools in the state.
Why sai sing cha da la ko lam arapa me am zuya woni na why wa ba de sigi mo gi kaino je counter je ani hum gumba adi oja kharam phambiraga counter masing kitang hengaladi sangna ju lepta bi da kitang phagadra khale online registration gumba de form submission je online da toba yaraga di kitang kong gada bane ba si je sangna lepaga matam ju yam mange wa ju wai ngarang dagi matam mangai ne ba adu tung queue je lebe phangda na han ba ju yawe why aduna
adi mafam sa bai tar ne ko soi jang area se soi jang na ta bai tar ne da lai se lam ara for am yaw na ri bu ko adi lam ara for je moi gi ju kitang khudong sa ba yeng bi raga kitang si mak na tra so atopa da government ki matik sa ba kul link laga oza sing matik sa ba lowi raga fazana arrange to bi raga lap na lai bu ma si gi ju kitang opportunity do moi gi wena khara anak pom fam da pi hening ye dai project private to ina focus ayam loina tong na re adu private lai ba facility ai tar ne moi da lai ba facility gi government da oza oi bizna hena qualify oi na government ki oza je khalli ne ba adu bo tai bo oza sing jina thawai yaw de ha ba dina te fazana ji takpi ri ko sidagi hena thawai yaw na takpi raga tatra jing yo afa ba uthokpa ngamboi
id ma se government na pura moi gi plan la ma lai bi bata di am fazana chi gumba jonoson gumba sigi type ta moina fazana control tawna lingkhat panga magadi akhoi gi sata sing je marang kaina private school da changmai mo ta chida changa ka train khalle kari no de ngachi lai ba mi myam jina proof ne ba ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯂꯥꯛꯇ꯭ꯔꯤꯉꯩꯒꯤ ꯃꯃꯥꯡꯗ ꯍꯦꯛꯇ ꯒꯦꯠꯁꯦ ꯊꯣꯝꯖꯤꯜꯂꯒ ꯍꯦꯛꯇ ꯆꯪꯕ ꯆꯤꯡꯗ ꯆꯥꯏꯅꯕ ꯉꯝꯗꯒꯤ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯃꯦ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯇ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯀꯣꯝꯊꯔꯛꯄꯒꯤ ꯋꯥꯔꯤꯅꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯂꯥꯛꯄ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯆꯪꯕ ꯉꯝꯗꯒꯤ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯃꯦꯕ ꯁꯤꯅ ꯇꯥꯛꯄꯗꯤ ꯒꯣꯔꯃꯦꯟ ꯁ꯭ꯀꯨꯜꯁꯤ ꯄꯥꯝꯖꯕ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩꯔꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯎꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯉꯝꯃꯦꯕ ꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯨꯞ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯑꯣꯏꯗꯣꯏꯅꯦꯕ ꯁꯤ ꯐꯠꯇꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯦ.
As a search operation for the landslide at Tupulyat railway constructions camped at Marangjing Part 5 in Nonit district on June 29 continues, the death toll remain at 52 while 9 persons are still missing. According to official reports, the search operations by more than 700 personnel of Indian Army, Assam Rifles, Territorial Army, SDRF and NDRF at the incident site continued on the 13th day despite the scorching heat. No new bodies were recovered today. It may be mentioned that a total of 43 Territorial Army personnel were swept away by the landslide. So far, 42 of the personnel have been found. On the first day, 13 of the personnel were rescued. The bodies of 29 others have been recovered and the number of missing personnel is only 1 now. Meanwhile, out of the 79 persons swept away by the landslide, 70 persons have been found. Out of the 70 persons, 18 were rescued. So far, 52 people lost their lives in the landslide, while 9 are still missing. Imphal West District BDF Gurjan Association staged a sit-in protest today at Yaipathoni Community Hall at Kaisampat, Lema Jamlekai, demanding to increase their salary and to form rule and regulation of duty and service book. General Secretary of Imphal West District BDF Association Irungbam Gita lamented the state government's negligence towards the problems faced by BDF personnel. The salary they receive is inappropriate with the work they do. Getting insufficient salary for working 24 hours and getting mistreated is not acceptable, Gita said. The association drew the attention of Chief Minister Anne Birren to increase their salary and to form BDF RR and service book. If the government fails to fulfill their demands, the association will take up different forms of agitations, Gita added.
Manipur government ki law and order pharamdaba isasing BDF isasing sina hek lingkhalakpadagi ngasi law and order shanti oire na haiba bok yare ko langdreba singumba mayam ji yengbiraga ngasi paliba government sina minungsi amaga loinana isasing sigi honorarium de hanbiu adagi matam sangna thabak tawrakpagi RR sembiu service book moi thabak tawbagi lehenbiu asigi demand da khoi ngasi phamjabaneba asida sunatana ko isasing sina covid laina gi luraba pandemic ki matam sida makoi na tawgiba thabak thawjang kaya ama masi haibada loibusu nairoi adai hoji none da thoiba signing haibagi thabak sida kasuk tolop yam jadraba masagi boksa bo ko najadraba isa BDF singi sijinnari ba ko hoi moi government sida sangubagi ni haina so khoi khallaseba masigi yengbiraga minungsi amaga loinana ngasi paliba thabak sibu paibiriba honorable minister na ko miyeng changbiraga angang singsigi magi sapsaba magi yengbiraga paisa se hengal haningi ko haiba sigi demand da koi phamjabaneba.
Taking part in the protest, a family member of one of the BDF personnel, Pinky, said the problems faced by a BDF and the family members are immense as the salary is not sufficient enough to provide for a family. She condemned the negligence by the state government towards the BDF personnel. She further appealed to the Chief Minister to increase their salary.
Ado ai na haijaning badi Chief Minister dani Sir Birren dani kokno na su haijani lam na su khoiram jari Sarda natana su haibam su laite mapi mapa moina sarda wakachaba natana tasengna BDF singna ngasi thengnari ba awa se imung manung singna thengnari ba sidagi atopa ma Chief Minister gi matungda di queen inaraga BDF singjina chaluba natabanina Chief Minister na di hakthengna na thengna bidaba adubu station khuding wakta lairiba BDF singja lairiba police SP lairiba OC lairiba khuding maksina di BDF singje duty kamaina tawi karamba matam dagina karamba matambu BDF na duty tawi BDF ki awaba se karamba khaidi moina khangam gani moina su support tawiu ikongno na su khoiram jari aduga miondagi paisa hanguba adagi chengchang ni ruba haibadu di thainagi matam natramnina hojikta di chanadre aduna BDF singna wabasidi isa migi yumthangna bada like tamiba hojing matamda ben chatliba school tamiba boarding lairiba khuding makse khoju isa ko banina afabada tamaningi isa singdo hayaningi isa semningi khoju adu phangai ba tolop sina di isa semba kona da banina ne amumuk su akhoi siningbagi wakhalai phangai ba tolop sina chanadra banina tasengna chanadre akhoi koi nupana nongamdagi thabak chale numitaraga hale the imungi atopa side thabak suba matamju phangdrabanina chaluiba duty to waramni halamni mungda pop tare aduna pusalaibaziga tauriba duty ziga laknari ziga nara amatamdadi sarkarna mateng pangbiba nate cheng hawai yenba lekai ki joka suba ama tawbadadi sarkargi thabak tawi bidie ke nupi ne na khoi cheng chak pibi de kanamda da pi de khoi da cheng chak pi de joka suan de akhoi da bidie ke nupi na suba yaroena suan de adu kana da no khoi na tan doi di manje ai gi nupa ji ta cheng na tolob ji sumaina sum sabi doi di ne thabak ji tuhan biro khoi tokserage ka su kai di akai ba Tangai sengna sarkar ki damakta ngasi tauriba BDF singna tauriba duty je lambi da VIP program ama satle habadane Chief Minister na kumdhara ga khud thila hangbadane Manipur police ta ki BDF masing ne helangani sorok ta tari je BDF masing ne helangani ngasi hojik chu Chief Minister sa pada lambi da ne yengbiyo tariba BDF sing jiga police sing jiga sorok ta ngai je Chief Minister ki damakta prasad sing ki damakta ngai je BDF ka police ka kanane henge habado duty tauri je Kutilaka yeng bada BDF masing na kokthong am hele hojik station da lairiba police ka BDF ka masing thinaraga yeng bada ne station khuding makta BDF masing ne helangani
Minister of Tribal and Hill Affairs Letpao Haukip handed over ex gratia of 2 lakh each to the family of 2 Tamilians of More who were shot dead at Tamu in Myanmar on July 5. Deputy Commissioner of Tengnoupal District Man Nom Ching, Superintendent of Police Tengnoupal District B Gonlian Mang and SP Special Commando of the district TH Krishna Tombi were present during the handing over of the ex gratia at Tamil Sangam office in More. Speaking on the occasion, Minister Letpao expressed grief over the unfortunate incident. P. Mohand and M. Yarnar were auto drivers and bread earners of the family. Both India and Myanmar lament the killing. Letpao assured to provide either a suitable job for the family of the victims or businesses by consulting Chief Minister N. Biren.
In relation to the killing of 2 Indian citizens, I have reached out to the bereaved family, and from the Manipur government side, we provide them 2 lakh each ex gratia to the deceased family. And we are looking forward to help them in whatever according to their qualifications and skills. We will try to provide them a government job in future.
Some unknown miscreants reportedly planted a hand grenade at the residential gate of Nongsaibam Sanjit, age 35 of Tulihal Patokpi under Andhra Police Station around 5:30 this morning. According to police report, the bomb planted at the residence of Managing Director of NK Enterprises Sanjit has been defused. No one has claimed responsibility for the action so far. One house on the bank of Jiri River collapsed while 4 houses began to drown in the river last afternoon. According to report, properties of these houses at Babupara Ward number 4 were swept away in the river. However, no casualties were reported. The houses belong to Projit Chandra, Mamtaj Begum, Maisnam Santi, Selhaibam Santirani and Usam Denibala of Babupara Ward number 4 Jiri Market. They have been taking shelter at the Imam Market in Jiri. Talking to our Jiri correspondent, Denibala expressed grief over the sudden incident. Even though they were not able to save their house, she expressed happiness that her 2 children were unharmed. Denibala drew the attention of the authority concerned to provide assistance to the affected families.
ꯑꯩꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯇꯥꯔꯤꯕ ꯗꯁꯥꯁꯦ ꯀꯔꯤꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯈꯪꯗꯦ ꯀꯔꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯑꯃꯠꯇ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯌꯨꯝꯁꯤꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯃꯠꯇ ꯀꯟꯕ ꯉꯝꯍꯧꯗꯕꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯂꯥꯏꯇꯩ ꯂꯥꯏꯕꯛ ꯐꯕꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯏꯆꯥ ꯑꯅꯤ ꯈꯞꯖꯍꯧꯗꯕꯁꯦ ꯁꯤꯒꯤꯕꯨꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯊꯤꯅ ꯂꯥꯏꯕꯛ ꯐꯩꯌꯦ ꯑꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯑꯋꯥꯕꯁꯤꯒ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯇꯪ ꯁꯔꯨꯛꯖꯍꯟꯅꯤꯡꯉꯤ ꯄꯨꯛꯅꯤꯡ ꯆꯪꯁꯤꯟꯖꯔꯤ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯂꯩꯉꯥꯛꯀꯤ ꯃꯥꯏꯀꯩꯗꯒꯤ
Manipur's Professor Santalaisham led India team at the 63rd International Mathematical Olympiad IMO 2022 hosted by University of Oslo in Norway. The Indian team at IMO this year included 6 contestants and 4 officials, with Deputy National Coordinator for Mathematical Olympiad, Professor Santalaisham, as the leader. Altogether, teams from 104 countries participated in the IMO 2022, which continued for over 2 days. Now we have a short commercial break. Stay tuned for more updates. Welcome back. India's claim for permanent membership in the UN Security Council may get strengthened if it surpasses China and becomes the world's most populous nation in 2023, according to a top UN population official. The World Population Prospects 2022 report released on Monday said that India is projected to surpass China as the world's most populous country next year. According to the report, India's population stands at 1.412 billion in 2022 compared to China's 1.426 billion. India, which will surpass China as the world's most populous nation by 2023, is projected to have a population of 1.668 billion in 2050, way ahead of China's 1.317 billion people by the middle of the century. Director of the Population Division of the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, DESA, John Wilmot, said on Monday that India's emergence as the country with the largest population could lead to certain claims on things. It may be mentioned that India has been at the forefront of the years-long efforts to reform the Security Council, saying it rightly deserves a place as a permanent member of the Council, which in its current form does not represent the geopolitical realities of the 21st century. Before the start of monsoon session of Parliament, the Centre and opposition were in a huddle to discuss the Agnipath scheme on Monday. However, the opposition camp, which plans to seek a detailed discussion on Agnipath scheme in the upcoming session, clearly kept its demand on this issue before the central government. According to sources, in the 1.5-hour-long meeting with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, opposition MPs demanded that Agnipath scheme be either withdrawn or sent to parliamentary panel for further detailed scrutiny. According to opposition camp, they strongly expressed their reservations about Agnipath, the new military recruitment scheme. Apart from the Defence Minister and the Army Chief, top officials from the Ministry of Defence and Tri-Services were present. The Shiv Sena, led by Uddhav Thackeray, will support Draupadi Murmu, the BJP-led NDA's candidate for the presidential polls to be held on July 18, sources said. The decision comes a day after 16 of the party's 22 MPs told Thackeray at a meeting that they should vote for her because she is a woman from a tribal community. Nearly 10% of the Maharashtra's population is of scheduled tribes. Britain's new Prime Minister will be announced on September 5, with the first votes to begin eliminating candidates in a crowded and increasingly unpredictable and divisive contest to replace Boris Johnson coming this week. So far, 11 candidates have thrown their hat in the ring to succeed Johnson as leader of the ruling Conservative Party and Prime Minister after a quit following a dramatic rebellion by his own lawmakers and ministers after a series of scandals. The 1922 Committee of Conservative Members of Parliament, MPs, which organizes the leadership contest, said hopefuls would need at least 20 nominations from the party's 358 lawmakers to even proceed to the first round of votes on Wednesday. Anyone who then receives less than 30 votes will be eliminated before another vote follows on Thursday. The field will be whittled down to a final 2 candidates by lawmakers before a postal ballot of the Conservative Party's members, who number fewer than 2 lakh, take place over the summer. Before we end the bulletin, let's look at the top news headlines once again. Government of Andaman and Nicobar Islands allots 2,000 square meter plot of land to Manipur to develop memorial site for deported forefathers, announces Preservation Committee of Deported Manipuri War Heroes. Losal President demands clarification from government on why more urea needed now than 10 years back as the area of paddy fields has shrunk. Large number of parents and guardians throng TG Higher Secondary School for getting admission forms for Class 11. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening.
Welcome to Manipur International University. Admission opened for undergraduate program. MIU is an UGC recognized. MIU has a team of highly qualified and experienced faculty manning various departments that are equipped with advanced computer lab, smart classrooms and oriental library. They also provide attractive scholarships and offered unique courses. Classes will be starting from August 2022. Manipur International University, Gari Awang Laikai, near HRD Academy. Helpline numbers 889-978-8788. Manipur International